What's up, James?
Hey, sorry, I was having some Wi-Fi issues.
All good, man. How you doing?
Tired.
Yeah,
Just took
busy
a
week.
busy week. Yeah, busy is good.
And so what can I help you with today?
So I'm in the process of building out systems and processes, and right now when I go out to do estimates, I basically walk through the job with the customer, and then I just jot down some notes like the square footage, what needs to be taken out, and then I go home and I work up the bid, and then I email it to them. I want to create either on Excel or some kind of platform. So if we have to remove, if so, say we're doing a flooring project, I want to be able to have categories and then basically input the square feet of each category. Like we have to remove 100 feet of carpet or whatever. I basically want to put the square footage, and then in the bottom corner, it just spits out like a price
Mm-hmm.
without me having to input like what per square foot or stuff like that. That way I could do it on the spot with the client.
So you just need like an Excel sheet that already has some formulas in it, so you can pop in some numbers and it spits out your price.
Yeah.
That seems pretty easy. I'll open up Excel and let's just see what we can do. Okay, so like run me through what you would do now. Help me fill out this spreadsheet, then we can figure out what formulas to use.
But let's just job is 1,000 square feet and they have 300 feet of carpet that needs to be removed and 700 feet of tile that needs to be removed. And they want new LVP flooring, just to keep it super simple.
All right, so line item to remove carpet, remove tile. What was the third thing you said?
Install new LVP.
Okay, and then the square footage for the carpet was 300, the tile was 700,
Yeah,
and then what was the last one?
1,000.
1,000. Okay, and you don't charge by hour, you charge by square footage, right?
Yeah, per foot.
How do you price for them? Do you calculate your costs and then add a markup?
So I made another Excel spreadsheet. This first column is a price list that I made of what I can pay someone,
Uh-huh.
and then I just added 40% margin on
Okay.
top. So I
Okay, so
would give the customer my price, and then I would pay the installer whatever their price is.
your customer price is going to be your cost times 1.4. How would you determine your price to remove 300 square feet of carpet?
We charge 83 cents a foot per carpet, but that includes taking out the carpet, the pad, and all the tack strip.
Okay, so for carpet, it's this times 0.83. And then what about tile?
Yeah, 416 per foot.
Okay, so this would be equals that times 416. I'm just gonna make here tile. Okay, and then how much to install the LVP?
308.
$3.08.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, I mean, so this this is like okay for you, but I wouldn't show the customer how much I'm charging them or like how much I'm marking it up for each thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to do.
Yeah. So like I might remove this part and let's say that this is like total costs and then customer price would just equal the total cost times your margin or your markup, which is 1.4. So you want to be able to like do this on your phone at the job and then like them an invoice.
Yeah, or on my iPad because it's bigger and easier to use.
Okay. And are they going to be looking at your iPad screen or is that just something you look at?
No, that's just going to be something that I look at because right now I just walk through and take a bunch of notes, but instead of just taking notes and then going home, I can measure the carpet and then boom, put it in the iPad and it spits out a price.
Okay.
Like as I take notes, it calculates the price right spot.
So I think what I would do to use a spreadsheet is I would have like a template spreadsheet that
Yeah.
already had like all the line items that there possibly could be and all the formulas already put in, so that when you drop in, like let's say that we were starting over, like everything's zero, and then you look around and you're like, okay, there's 500 square carpet coming out, there's no tile, and we're replacing it with that. Like you just spit out your price in 2 seconds, and then you could type in, you can use whatever like bookkeeping software you have to just put that in and email them an invoice. Does that
I
make sense?
use, I use Pages for my invoice right now. There's an invoice or their invoice or estimate template that has kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit of a different layout, so I just used that.
So pages as in like Apple Pages?
Yeah,
What do
but
you use for your bookkeeping software?
nothing.
Nothing?
I'm new to all this. That's why I'm thinking about all this right now before I grow and start hiring people.
Let me think for a second.
I QuickBooks in the past, but I don't know if that's the same thing.
Like we use QuickBooks Contractor edition,
Hmm.
which allows you to it's basically like fancy spreadsheets that you can send people estimates and stuff.
Okay.
For ease of use and simplicity, you could probably just start with regular QuickBooks. And I'll just show you, like I use Zoho. Zoho is like it's an Indian company. I would use QuickBooks, but I've been using Zoho for so long that to switch to QuickBooks would be a big pain in the butt. But it's pretty simple. So like I just go, oh no, that's Zoho subscription. So I go to books and I go to sales and add an invoice, and I would just type in like carpet removal. Do you want to break down each step for your client, or do you want to just give them the price? Like remove carpet and replace with LVP, and then you could just, take this number, drop it in there, charge tax, then tax would be automatically added, but I wouldn't. So like Golden River, I put you in because you're already in my system. Otherwise, I would, like, let's say I could just add a new customer right here, put your name, your email, yada yada. Takes a couple seconds. I could do this on my phone or my iPad too. There's an app, but
Mm.
but you're already in my system. So I put that in. I put in what it is. I'm not breaking it down by line item. I'm just giving you a total price.
Hmm.
Save and send, and you just got my invoice. And if you want to be able to take payments via credit card, like I have this connected to Stripe, which is my payment processor. So that's what this little checkbox is like. If I want to allow you to pay with Stripe, I just check that, and now you can pay with a credit card. If
Nice.
I uncheck it, then you can only pay with a check. So if I was going to do this and let you pay with a credit card, I would add another item for the payment processing fee, which is 3%. I would just have another section in here, payment processing fee, which is going to be this. Whoops, not that one. It's going to be this times 0.03, 8211. So I'll add that in, 8211. Okay, and now I'm covering the payment processing fee, and I can resend you the invoice, added process, and boom. So you just got the email. I have it auto forward these emails to me as well. So I get a copy of the invoice. And then,
I like how you do it. That's so like clean and simple.
yeah, and so then your client, all they have to do is click this little card button right there, which I can't because I'm
Yeah.
in the pro. But then they could put in their credit card info right there. They can make the right away. You could even say like, hey, I give, to save time on admin and stuff, I give $100 discount to people that pay right now. Do you want to just pay right now? And some people will just pay right now, and then you're just getting your money before you even get going. You don't have to worry
Mm.
about it. But what's nice is, so when somebody pays this, like let me go to my regular invoices, like Harrod Heating and Air, they just paid $2,000. It automatically goes into back into my bookkeeping software, so I don't have to input this back in. I don't have to track this manually. My systems tracked it. The payment went through. It went to my bank. My bookkeeping software knows that it went to my bank. Like I don't have to track any of the payment stuff. It's all, so that's a huge time savings there. And then when it comes to like purchases, I have this linked to the credit card. Well, I have it linked to all my accounts. So like I can go in here and go to my main credit card, and all of my expenses, my uncategorized expenses are in here. And I just go one by one and categorize them. And I do all my bookkeeping. All my bookkeeping done in about 3 hours a quarter. Now, for you, it's going to be harder because you're buying things in the physical world and you're getting physical receipts.
Yeah.
So, like, Zoho has all the bookkeeping softwares do this stuff, but like Zoho Expense is the app for Zoho, and I could have this on my phone, and whenever I get a physical receipt, just take a picture of it, and it automatically uploads into my bookkeeping software. Then I can throw the receipt away and forget about it. If employees are buying stuff, you just make sure that they take a picture of every single receipt and they upload it, because your bookkeeper, whether it's you or someone else, you need a physical, well, you need a either physical or digital copy of every receipt that goes through. And and it's really important for you when you're doing your bookkeeping. Let me go back to my bookkeeping here. You need to allocate each expense to what job it went to, right?
Hmm.
So, like if I was in here and let's just say this was for a certain job, I would go down here and do a customer. Okay, it's cost of goods sold, it's for this customer, and then I can select if it's billable or not. If I select billable, next time I go to invoice you, I can just auto add this to the invoice. If I already charged you for it, then I don't click billable and I save it. But that way, later on, I can go back to any job and I can see how much it cost me. And so you want to track all that kind of stuff. So next Thursday, I'm really good friends with a guy who owns a bookkeeping business. He specializes in doing bookkeeping for like flippers and real estate guys, so basically construction. He's going to explain like all the finance stuff, what numbers to keep track of, what options you have for keeping track of them, what you need to have in place for taxes at the end of the year, and just all of that kind of stuff. I promise you, like getting a software and starting to use it is going to make your life so much easier. If you're using like Pages to create invoices and then having to like go back and track all the payments and stuff manually, like that's a
It's
lot of work. Do you understand how I made this spreadsheet?
yeah.
Okay. So you can go through and make a spreadsheet. What I would do is I would do like estimating or something,
Hmm.
and this would be my template. And I would put a line item for everything I might encounter. Whenever it came time to do an estimate, I would just duplicate this and put the client's name, client X, and then I'd go through and put in all their numbers, whatever they are, and then I would have that for my records. So next time I did an estimate, I'd just duplicate this again. But if I needed to go back later, like, what was the measurement on that one guy? I could just go back here and see what I put in. And
Wow, that is so fast.
now you have like a permanent record of that.
Yeah.
And you do this on your iPhone and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
So go ahead. Do you use Google Sheets?
Yeah.
So go ahead and like make one, and then we could get on Zoom again and we can go through and I can help you like polish it up a little bit and make
Okay.
it super usable for you. But yeah, ultimately you should be able to go through, take a few measurements, pop them in, and spit out a price
Yeah.
really fast. If it's a simple job, you can even do this over the phone and have the customer like give you the numbers, and then you can give them a rough estimate over the phone before you even go to their house. That way you're not wasting your time with
Yeah.
somebody that can't afford you or whatever, you know?
That was actually one of the other things that I did. I basically found the price to charge per square foot, like all in, and that ranges from 5.5 to $7 a foot. So I can just basically ask them what's the total square footage, and then I just multiply it by that number, and that's their ballpark.
Yeah,
If they say good, then I go out and meet them. If not, then I saved like 3 hours of my time.
that's awesome. If I was in someone's house and I did this and I was able to send them the invoice, I'd say, hey, if you pay that invoice right now, like I'll get you on my schedule for X day. And like, really try to get that money and get them on the schedule before you walk out the door,
Yeah,
because then you can just go to the next one and do the same thing, and then you don't have any extra work to do when you get home.
that's
Like
crazy.
like I hate having to go back and do things later if
Yeah,
I can do it. So
it
you figure
sucks.
out little incentives like, hey, I'll give you $100 off if you can pay right now, or I can get you on the schedule now if you pay right now. Otherwise, you might have to wait an extra couple weeks. Do everything you can, and so that when you get home, you're done with work.
What if you're booked out for like 2 or 3 weeks, or not 2 or 3, maybe like 4 or 5 weeks? Would you still
Then
try
you
to
just,
get payment
yeah,
over right
absolutely.
away, or
How do you usually charge? Like half up front, half when it's done? Do you charge in full in the beginning?
don't laugh, but up until this point, I never charged deposits or anything.
Hmm.
Unless we need material for something, then we charge up front. But if we don't need any extra material, then we just take payment on completion.
Okay. So if I was booked weeks out, I would definitely take some sort of deposit to lock in the spot.
Mhm.
How often do you have people back out on jobs?
This is something that I should be tracking, but I don't think after they accepted, I don't think I've had one person back out other than for like something happened and they literally couldn't make that date or their
Okay.
plumbing broke or something. So almost
So
never.
so if it's not broken, you don't have to fix it. I'm like half Armenian, so we're kind of like Jewish people. Like we always try to get paid. Like option A for me is I want to get paid in full to get on my schedule. And then
Yeah,
option B is half up front, half when we're done. And then option C is some kind of deposit. And so I'm always trying to get the money first. There's been times in the past where I did the work first and then screwed, and I just don't like when that happens. But if you don't have an issue with people like messing up your schedule and stuff, then maybe it's not a big deal. You could still offer them. You can say, hey, like you can still offer them an incentive to pay half up front or something if you want to. You have a lot of flexibility, man. Like when you're making deals with people, like you can be creative. Like, what do they want? What do you want? Maybe you want sooner rather than later. What do they want? Well, they want the job done sooner rather than later. Like, is there any wiggle room? Is there any way to make the deal sweeter? No hard and fast rules to this stuff.
okay. Sounds good. Well, this was really helpful. This is going to save me literally like an hour estimate.
You're welcome, dude. Make up your spreadsheet and you can either send it over to me or we can get on Zoom and go over it.